Hi everyone, my name is Justin Odisho and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we have an interesting guest on the show, our youngest guest so far. He's a young creative coming out of Mississauga, Ontario. His name's Steven Van, and in this episode we talk about some of the challenges and successes that he's found networking and building and getting started at such an early age. So I want to give some fresh perspective from his side and some of his peers and the youth and the new generation coming up now, how he is comparing to some of his peers, and also what it's like being surrounded by such a culturally booming city such as Toronto and some of those areas around Canada right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you're listening on iTunes, feel free to give it a rating. And on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and all that. And let's get into the episode. What's up, Steven? Thank you for making the time to come on.
Thank you, man. I'm excited. Podcasts are cool and stuff, you know? I started my own, and it's been, great just talking to people. So,
yeah. Podcasts are fun, I find. It's just like having a conversation for an hour and recording it. And you get to talk about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's just get into it.
So how old are you? I said young creative, but how old are you for anyone listening?
I'm 15. I'm turning 16 this October 1st. And I've been doing this whole YouTube thing and just been creating content since May 2015, near the end of May. So I've been doing it for, not a long time, but I think 2 years, 3 years is, good for my age. I'm 15. I've started when I was 13. So I have some experience in this field. So
yeah. I mean, I think I started my YouTube channel in 2011, but I was probably 17 or something at the time. So what you have, talk about, being so young, do you see it as a positive or a negative, or what are some positives and negatives that you see it as?
Starting young? And
no, just being young right now. Is there anything that limits you feel like?
No, I think at this point in my life, it's probably the least obstacles I have to face. There's less responsibility. When you're older, you have a family or you have other things you have to take care of. And right now I can really have I have free time now. I'm pretty sure when I'm older, when I have a job or have to go to university, that will take up most of my time. But right now, school isn't so hard. It isn't as hard as later on. So I think I have the ability to just slack off a bit and pursue a side hustle.
Try different things. Yeah,
try different things.
You just said two things that are really interesting to me. So you said when you're older and you will have to have a job and have to go to university. So it sounds like you feel like you have to do those things though. Do you plan on it?
I'm just saying as I don't know, that's just very general. Most people do that stuff, right? Get a job. I'm just saying
I get
looking
what
at
you're
a
saying,
normal a normal person, right? I'm different, obviously. I don't think I'll get a full-time job or something like that after university or during university. I'm just saying as a young person compared to a regular young person to a younger
average
regular
person.
old person.
I get what you're saying, responsibilities. There's a lot of interesting things there. So you do feel like you have to go to college at this point, or you want to?
I want to just for the experience, but I don't think I have to. I might not. I have no idea at this point. I'm just trying to do as much as I can before then, so I have a kind of clear idea of whether I want to or not.
I mean, because there's, like you said, I don't think there's that many 15-year-olds and things like that who, you said, you started your own podcast and you're doing all this stuff, and even though it might just be in the beginning stages and you're still exploring, at the same time, are you still in high school, right?
Yeah.
What are you, freshman, sophomore?
I'm going into grade 11.
Okay, so September. Junior. I don't know how it works in Canada. I'm right across the border in Detroit.
It's junior. It's junior. Yeah. So.
What is everyone else? What are your peers doing who are also 15, 16, 17? Are they super into YouTube and all this stuff or no?
The friends I have are kind of like me, with the mindset, are doing pursuing their own thing. That's why I only have 3 friends, because only 3 people I know actually do this stuff. Not YouTube, maybe other things. One of my friends is doing boxing. He's getting into that professionally and stuff. But everyone else is caught up in they're caught up in other stuff drama and I don't really care about that, to be honest. Like I go to school, I go back and then I make videos, and then it's just like I keep doing that. But other people are caught up in just like really dumb stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like I don't know, like majority of people in my school just still don't have idea of what they're doing, or they're not doing anything at all. They're not even thinking about it. They're just kind of like going with the flow right now. But I'm trying to like establish something before I have to decide what career like I want to get into, stuff
The
like
real
that.
world.
Yeah.
Well,
So
where did you get that? Where did you get that drive, like, to want to start creating stuff? How did you fall into all this? You said you started your channel in 2015. When
well,
so you
yeah.
must have been. I mean, you were pretty young, like 13ish.
Yeah.
Did you just
So,
kind of fall into it?
well, like I always liked entertainment and like creative stuff, I guess, like TV shows, movies, videos, stuff.
Mhm.
I just never really like thought about how they made them, like made those things, like the behind the scenes. Really, like once I like started looking into the behind the scenes, like the people and how they were connecting stuff, I just got interested in that. And I always liked creative stuff. I just never really got into it. I didn't think I was good enough, or just I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, when you're
Um,
young, you don't have like a lot of reference to build the confidence off, I guess, and you
Yeah,
haven't done it yet. So, but so compared to, I mean, I'm not that much older than you, but I'd say I'm like kind of you're in one generation younger. Like when I was in high school and things like that, there was still YouTube was starting and there was still social media, but it definitely wasn't as big as it is now. Do you see all of your peers and your classmates, like, are you guys all familiar with, is everyone watching all the popular YouTubers right now, or do people still watch TV and not watch YouTube, you'd say?
I think more people watch TV.
Still,
definitely.
you'd
Like
say?
no, like TV shows like Netflix, not like
Okay,
like
yeah.
on demand stuff, not like TV, like TV, like TV, more like Netflix,
Yeah, like Netflix.
Hulu, stuff like that. YouTube videos, I know some people, like maybe like half of the people will watch it, half won't.
So
and
people aren't
that's
like discussing the Jake Paul drama at the lunch table?
some people.
Really?
Some people like I'd say like 3 or 4 people out of like my class would do that. There's like 20 something people in
Yeah.
my class, like 3 or 4 will mention that or something like that, but it's not that serious. I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think mainly, like, I don't know why, but I feel like the female, like there's a lot more females who will watch YouTube videos,
Yeah.
usually for like advice videos and stuff,
Like
like
makeup, or
Yeah,
that sounds
I think-
very stereotypical, but my
yeah, but-
audience, I don't know about like your analytics, my audience is mostly like 80% male, 20%
Mine's-
female
mine's
into
90
video
yeah.
editing.
Yeah, mine's 90% male. So, but I'm just saying, like, if I just look at generally, like, what I think in my school, in my area, I think more girls watch, like, are on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. You're from Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Were you
I'm,
born there or no?
No, I'm like on the suburbs, like the outs,
What's
like outer
what's
core.
the suburb?
It's not really
Is
actually.
it around
it's,
Mississauga?
it's in I live in Mississauga, right?
Okay.
But people consider Toronto as like there's the
The
Toronto
greater
and then
area.
the greater area, right? So there's like a bunch of cities around it. So I guess like Mississauga is like one of the more like calm, like not like it's not really city like. It's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was always there. I was born there. I actually spend a lot of time in Toronto though. Like I go downtown a lot,
Yeah.
just for like shoots. And
How far
stuff.
is it from Mississauga? Like 1 hour?
By like transit, it's probably like 45 to an hour, depends on like the time of day. But yeah, so like I've been to downtown for like 6 out of 7 days this week, which is like a lot. I come home like really late every time I go downtown, but like I like the vibe there. I like the city a lot, so like I want to move down there, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you're still
still
young.
young.
You're still, but what I brought that up for is it seems like, at least to me, because I'm in the greater Detroit area, so I'm right across the river, and I get a lot of the influence that trickles down. It seems like there's so much awesome creative stuff coming out of Toronto and that whole area, like especially with Drake and everyone like coming out of the OVO area, and also other YouTubers. Seems like Toronto is really like a powerhouse of culture. How does that inspire you?
Oh, yo, it like inspires me a lot. I see like just looking at people who were at like the OVO Fest and like got access and like took nice pictures.
I
nice
wanted
videos.
to go to
like,
that so bad, but I missed
that was like that was amazing. Like just seeing that, even though like I wasn't there or anything, just like seeing people, like the behind the scenes people. Like I follow those people a lot, so like just seeing the photographers, the videographers, just making stuff, just being invited to those type of things, like really inspire me. So like whenever there's an event and I like one of my friends goes, like gets invited, that's like super sick to me. It really motivates me so that like one day I can like get invited to those events, you know, just like meet new people.
Yeah.
And then there's like a bunch of people I've met over this past year, like JR Ali. He's like this filmmaker, right? I followed him back like a year ago, and he was super small and stuff. Now like his filmmaking's like unbelievable. He makes like sick videos. Like
I feel like I've heard his name before.
Yeah, just seeing the progression is like, I know a lot of like people from Toronto who I've talked to when they were just starting off, and now they're just blown up, and it's just like crazy seeing that.
Like who else are some people that you follow from the area that inspire you?
Most of the people who inspire me are usually like music artists.
Yeah.
So I follow a lot of artists. You know, like I guess like Nav, you know, Drake, you know, those people like really inspire me as well. Just like I listen
because
to
they're
all their
from
music.
your same area, so you can relate to it.
Yeah, I think like one of the reasons I started on YouTube was because somebody who was like doing what I'm doing right now, who lived near me, was succeeding. So
Who is that?
Zayovo, you know him, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I know his channel.
yeah, right.
Is he from? Oh, he's from around area.
He's from I think Ajax, which is like like an hour away from Toronto, so like 2 hours away from me. So like just seeing that kind of inspired me as well. Just like he was young at the time as well. I think he was like 16 when he started. So that inspired me, just seeing like people in the local area just succeeding.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a good point, because, and I think that's a good point that everyone can do, is because everyone has excuses, and this is something I talked about in one of my podcasts too. One of the biggest things that inspired me was just looking around me and like getting people that already succeeded. So there's a lot of I live in the greater Detroit area, and there's a lot of people that came right from my area that are super successful. So do you know Steve Cardinal, his channel? He did the songs in real life thing.
Oh yeah.
So he did the songs in real life thing. That was one of the first viral things to blow up. And literally he went to the same community college that I did, and the videos were filmed in the same exact classrooms and bathrooms and hallways that I was in. So, and then I just started looking around more and more, and I saw that this person was from right down the city, and this person was the same ethnicity as me, and this person. So you just like kill all your excuses if you can just find one person that did it before you, who you can relate to, who looks like you or is from where you are.
Yeah. So like I'm always like constantly making connections, like even if they don't do like the same things I do, just making connections, just like saying, yo, they're from near here and they did something with themselves, right? Like they succeeded. Just like making those small connections,
mental
to people.
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I read a book by Charlemagne. You know Charlemagne?
Yeah.
He just released a book, like
Black
kind of
Privilege, right?
Yeah, he just mentioned that. So he mentioned that in the book, just like going back to your roots and just seeing like just going back to just looking like just owning your city, you know, just like finding opportunity, just like I don't know, it just really inspires me. Yeah, just meeting new people. That's like always like a big thing for me. Just seeing like, yo, this guy made it, I can make it too.
Yeah, and I think I reached out to a lot of people too, and the way that I met you was through Twitter. Yeah. I DM'd you because I was trying to collaborate with every single person I could. I don't remember how I found your channel, but obviously you might stumble across your channel if you're in the video editing type of space, or like just kind of tutorial space. And I was sitting in one of my college classes. I graduated now, but I was sitting in one of my college classes and I was just DMing people, and I did a guest video for your channel. And I think I see you hustling a lot on Twitter and Instagram. Every single picture I see on Instagram, I see that you liked it already. It's like out of everyone's name, I always see, you know how it shows you whoever you're following? I always see you everywhere. And I think that's a really good thing. Like it seems like you're everywhere on Twitter and Instagram. Is there what advice could you give someone who isn't so savvy on all these new platforms? Like, what are your favorite platforms that you're really focusing on, and what is some advice that you've learned on how to use them to network like that and meet people in a good way?
Well, definitely on Twitter. Like, I am really into Twitter now just because the conversations you can have.
Yeah.
And I use usually what I do is I'll reply to every single like tweet that's sent to me. I'll go to the Twitter search and I'll search up like video editing, and if anyone has questions, I'll reply.
Yep.
Just like getting involved with every single thing as I can, because like one person is better than zero. Like one person knowing me is better than like no one knowing me at all, right?
So you can literally go on Twitter and I did this too, but like sometimes I have so many things juggling. But for those of you who are trying to ask, like, how do I start from scratch from 0 to 1? You can literally go on Twitter and type in looking for a video editor around whatever area, or you can type keywords and see who's talking about it, and then you can just interact with them.
Yeah, so I do that a lot. Like Instagram, what I'll do is I'll go to like the hashtag or the locations. Like you can sort by location. Like you can select like Toronto, and then all the photos from Toronto appear. I'll go and I'll like all the pictures and then I'll like scroll through it. If like there's anything interesting, I'll like DM them or something like that.
Yeah.
And with a lot of the photo shoots that I do, it's usually through like Kijiji, which is like the Craigslist for Canada. And I'll go on Craigslist too, and like I'll go through every single thing as I like I'll go through everything. I'll be everywhere, and I'll just try to reach as many people as possible. So like I'll spend hours on end doing that sort of stuff just so I can get that exposure. Like some people just expect it to come to them by just putting out content, but like nobody's gonna see your content unless you try to get it to them, right?
You really dig, like you spend a lot of time investing into it. But it sounds like you said you were in the city 6 times this week. It sounds like you're really focusing on doing photography and doing shoots right now. Is that something you're working towards off the side of YouTube? And I know you made a video about how YouTube is not a job. Like what are you trying to steer your work towards more, like photography?
Right. Okay, so right now I'm trying to do more commercial stuff. Like I'm just building a portfolio right now and trying to just get exposure. So I've been doing free shoots for big influencers so that I can get the exposure that I need. I just did one with this channel who has like 1 million subscribers, which is like crazy, right? Basically, she offered, like she told me if the shoot goes well, then she'll pay me for future projects for videos and stuff. I just actually tweeted out a picture on like Twitter right here. Let me check. I think her name's Kaylin Nicholson, right?
But what you're saying is true about you have to sometimes free things can lead to paid and good opportunities.
That's why like internships and that sort of stuff like are important. You meet new people. You know, like if you reach the right people, then you can get like really good opportunities. I've done like a lot of free work which have led to great opportunities. Like I've made free YouTube banners for like big channels, and then they referred me to other people and like that sort of stuff. So I guess like I've been doing free work. Like whenever I have spare time, I'll do free work for somebody that I think will see it and who will appreciate it, so that I kind of
can start like building a relationship with them. Yeah. And I think this gets me into another point I wanted to, because when I was 15, I can't remember me hustling or trying to make money. I was still savvy online and I was just exploring my interests, but I don't think I was actively trying to make money. So, and it seems like you are kind of hustling and you're finding ways to make money as a teenager. Is there an age that you can start working in Canada? Is it 16 or 18?
No, some of my friends who are 15 have started working, so I think 15. Like some people, I think 16 actually. 16 like most places.
I feel like it's 16 in most places unless you work in a family business. But that's really good that you are you're building. That's another reason I got you on here too, because I see that you're hustling, and I think that these relationships that you're building, if you're consistent with it, by the time you're 18, by the time you're 19, 20, 21, like still really young, you'll already have 6 years of relationships and network and content behind you. And I think you'll be in a really, really good place, especially as the demand for this stuff starts growing. Do you plan ahead like that? Do you see it like that?
Yeah. Like I think about it, and I think about everyone in my field, and like when you consider somebody young, it's like 19 or 20. Like I'm already like way younger than them.
Yeah.
And
so it's really a good advantage, I'll tell you. Not advantage, but you're in a really good spot.
And you know, like when you talk about like making money and stuff, I don't really think about it as making money. Like I'll make money off of it, but like right now I'm just trying to like build my personal brand, just like like so more
your
people,
name,
like,
put work under your name.
Yeah, so like I'm perceived a certain way, so that people can go to me for like certain things. Just they see me as like, I don't know, just like I'm trying to brand myself really well right now, and I'll worry about like the money later. Like there's like I can do sponsorships and stuff all day, but I think if I just put out good work and people see that, then it'll be like in the
you can leverage it better in the future rather than just getting a couple bucks now. You can turn it into, you can get all of that later down the line if you just focus on growing the tree right now, and then you can pick the fruit later. You know what I mean? That's that analogy.
Yeah, and I don't even need like the money right now. Like I have all the equipment I need for what I do right now. I am still like in high school. I don't need like a car or anything, so it's like fine. And yeah, so I'm not really worrying about money. Like money will come. Like I still do get a decent amount of money off like YouTube offshoots, but that's not my main priority. It's just improving my work right now, just the quality of it, just meeting new people, building relationships. So yeah.
So talking about gear, especially being 15, I'm sure you get questions by your friends or other people your age. Like, how did you afford that gear? How did you start getting that gear? Or did your parents buy it for you? It sounds like, how did you build up to have that microphone and have those cameras and things like that?
I always explain this, and like I started off with a laptop that nobody used in my house just because it was so bad. Just like it was like broken, like the keyboard didn't work and stuff. And I still managed to make probably like 20, 30 videos with it. With that 20, 30 videos, one of them did well. I was able to get PC after like 6-7 months.
What type of videos were you making?
Back then, I was still making the similar type of videos, so like tutorials and stuff. So what I did was I downloaded an app on my phone, and then that was the keyboard. So that I was using the on-screen keyboard the entire time, and it was like, it's crazy hard, right? So I was using my phone as a keyboard. The USB ports didn't work, so I couldn't, put in a mic, or like I couldn't like plug in an external keyboard or anything. It was like extremely hard to edit, to do anything. Rendering took 8 hours. Like,
yes,
it was super hard.
I've been there when I was young, and now I'm talking about when your bad computer was probably better than my best computer.
So and then I kind of over that period of time I was making the videos, I finally could afford a PC, and I've been using that same PC to this date. It just broke like recently, so now I'm just borrowing laptops until I buy a new laptop for myself. But I kind of just
you built it up from scratch. I built
it up, and then I bought a PC, and then I utilized that PC and just burned it, like just used it out, like, so like I made so many videos on it. And then I was able to buy the other stuff. Like, I kind of,
slowly, so, like, right? Over a year, two.
Like, my camera, I only got it last year. And I've been doing, like, YouTube probably, like, a year and a half before I got that camera. I know, like, you just switched your microphone, like, a couple months ago, right? Like, and you were on
This is
YouTube
like a 5-year journey to get this one.
I remember
I used to record straight into the built-in microphone, and then I went to, like, a $40 USB mic, and then I got this one.
Yeah, and like my first microphone, I didn't buy it. What happened was somebody, like at the time I was a decently sized channel, like probably 10, 20K, and this small channel was doing a giveaway for the Blue Yeti, and I think he rigged the giveaway for me just because I was a bigger channel, and I got it for free. I got the Blue Yeti for free.
Whatever works. That's why I don't like doing giveaways on my channel much, because I don't know. I feel like it sets up thousands of people for disappointment, and one person, I've done them, but That's
So
good
yeah,
though. That's how the way you just explained it is how I think a lot of people do. You start with a lot of people can do. Start with what you have right now. If anyone who has an iPhone, you can make videos, you can record good audio, you can shoot good videos, and then you start generating some money probably from your channel and other side things, and maybe you get some luck, you win a giveaway.
Yeah.
And then over a year or two, you can save up and spend all your money. I spent all my money multiple times to get a new camera, to get a new, like, I didn't start saving money until years when I had already kept spending all my money to buy new equipment, you know?
Yeah. So like I see a lot of people who don't like maximize, like don't use their things to like if you
They
have
don't
a
use their
camera,
things to the fullest.
yeah, to the fullest, right? They'll just say like I don't know, they won't use the camera enough to know how to actually use it well, or they won't use the most out of their microphone because they don't want to search up the best settings or something.
Yeah.
And right. So I used the hell out of my old camera until it broke, and then had to get this new Sony camera, right? Like I didn't just like buy a new camera and just take nice pictures. Like everything takes time, right? Like my phone used to be my microphone, right?
Yeah. The phone has a pretty good microphone. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
If you open up the audio recorder.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Like there's an app called Anchor where you can like record like
I
small
heard of it.
podcasts. Like so everybody uses a phone for that.
Yeah.
Everybody. So
There's
no
like
excuse,
external microphones you can plug in, but I haven't used any, and I really don't think it makes a big deal.
Yeah, like a phone's fine, to be honest. Yeah.
But so compared to my audience, I'd say, and probably a lot of people's audience, you have an audience who's also probably a younger and in your age range as well. I'm sure it's all ages, as is everyone, but you probably see a lot of other younger audience and you're around it. What are some other mistakes you see people your age or your peers making when they're trying to do similar things, like when they're trying to start a channel or trying to grow, compared to the things that have been working for you that you could give advice on?
Well, I guess like most people aren't patient with like that sort of stuff. Like I just got a message, it's like, oh, I made 4 videos. Why do I only have 5 subscribers? Maybe because you just posted 4 videos, and you haven't searched up, like you haven't learned how to edit. You haven't like you haven't thought about anything else. You just put out the video. Like there are so many other elements to just putting, like you have to like the distribution, all that sort of stuff. Just like replying to comments is important. Like there's a lot of aspects, not just uploading and making the video. I think you have to like be on social media as well. You can't just expect a video on YouTube to just blow up once you upload it, because there are millions of other videos on the internet. I think also people usually copy like other, like their influencers, like their influences. So they'll edit a certain way, and by doing that, it's gonna be pretty bad, because that person has probably developed that sort of style over years and years, and that's how they became successful. By copying them, you can never do it better than them. Like you can never.
Yeah, the imitation is never gonna be better than the original thing. And I guess when you're younger, you are still finding it's hard to have your style if you don't know who you are yet fully, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's like mostly patience though. Like a lot of smaller creators start a channel, don't see results, and then they quit. I think that's the biggest thing, to be honest. Yeah.
So that's really true. Patience. I get similar messages, and I tell them like I have 600 videos on my channel. That's how I started growing. I have 600 videos. Make 500 videos and then see if you're not, But you mentioned Anchor a little bit earlier, which is an interesting app. Is that why you started a podcast on YouTube too, or?
Oh no, I started a podcast before that. I think I just wanted a different like platform, like, and this one would be like audio based, to put out my content. Like I just want to be everywhere. That's what I was gonna get into. Yeah, I've been on Medium. I've been on like other like platforms, like Medium's like text based.
Yeah, blogging. Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. I've made a website where there's a blog too. There's like Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr too. Like I'm on every platform. I'm just trying to like be everywhere so that more people see me. Just stuff like that,
This is what. Yeah, I actually have that written down in my notes. I see you on like every single platform, which I think is really good for. I mean, obviously pick your few that because you can't.
Yeah.
You only have 24 hours in a day, but what are some other like interesting platforms aside from the ones everyone knows, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that you think people might want to check out? Like Anchor is, I know about it and you know about it probably because we're in this, but I think a lot of people don't know about it. It's like a mini podcasting app all on your phone. I don't personally use it just because I'm focusing on this podcast, but I see a lot of, it's interesting to me. Is there any other interesting ones to you?
Medium, like that's like writers and bloggers are all on there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really think of any other. I'm usually on the ones that are like either
The
popular
ones.
or just like pretty big. I just don't like people who have Twitter and like Facebook. Usually, all they do is just like post, links and stuff, which I don't think is good. I think you have to like find out how to use that platform to your advantage, and like the reason why the platform was made. Like Twitter was for conversation. Instagram was for photos, right? So you don't want to be posting like videos on, like you can post videos on Instagram, but like don't write a big caption with like, I don't know, like a million words, right? Twitter,
Some people blog on Instagram.
Yeah,
I get
so
what you're saying though. Like each platform has its voice, and you want to follow it natively.
Yeah.
I
Like,
do see people on Twitter that just post Instagram links on their Twitter rather than tweeting.
Yeah, so like by doing that, it kind of drives people away. Like you can't build like there's a certain way to build an audience on every platform.
Yeah,
right.
There's strategy.
Yeah, there's strategy, so you just have to find out on each. And yeah, I guess that's how it goes. Like Twitter, I'll be replying to everybody. YouTube, just upload a lot consistently. I don't know. I don't know how to do Facebook though, because I really don't know. Facebook.
I haven't focused much on Facebook, but it's an interesting one. I think a lot of people like bodybuilders or fitness pages, they have big Facebook pages with millions of followers. Or like I'm sure you follow Gary Vee and you learn a lot from him too. Like he does Facebook good, I think.
Yeah, I guess like Facebook, it would be like video. Like a lot of viral videos actually happen on Facebook. Like a lot of people share it because sharing's so easy on Facebook. You just press share and then everyone sees it, right? And there's just like a certain way you have to do it, and you can't just expect one way, like the way you do it on YouTube, to work on every other platform.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you follow all of your school friends and hometown friends on these platforms, or do you keep it strictly business, or do you have two separate accounts?
No, on all the platforms, I will follow like my school friends, but like I don't really have a lot of friends. I have like people I know.
You still
right?
keep it business, even person. Your friends are into the same things,
Yeah, maybe not Snapchat. Like I've been I reply to people on Snapchat, but I don't really just like talk about my videos and stuff on Snapchat. That's more like I guess that's for like my friends kind of. But like Twitter, Instagram, that's more business. I'll follow people still, but like from my school and all that sort of stuff, but it's used for the purpose of like growing my brand, just putting out content.
This is what I was going to get into, because I had the same issue when I started to take things more seriously. I had all my personal accounts, and then I started new accounts that those are the accounts I use, just my full real name everywhere. And I kind of stopped using everything, and I noticed that Instagram and Snapchat has a different vibe,
Yeah.
Does everyone around you, like, what's your take on the Instagram stories versus Snapchat? Do you feel like one's dying, or is there one that everyone uses around you?
More people use. Actually, I don't know anymore.
It's kind of evening out.
It's kind of even, but I think now that like Instagram has like a live and stuff, more people are using that like live feature. So yeah, Instagram, I guess like it's even, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think people post different things on both though. Like on Snapchat, it's more personal.
It
Instagram,
is, yeah.
Instagram's like more artsy, like more.
It stays up forever, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I think it's even. It wasn't like that before, obviously, but
I think what happened was, this is what happened with me at least. Snapchat was popping, and you have all your personal friends on there, and then Instagram comes along. So now I still have my Snapchat with all my personal friends on there, but I kind of stopped checking it. But everyone still kind of uses it until maybe one day they fully like shift over. Because I do notice now a lot more people started using their Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I see it. Whereas in the very first day it was launched, nobody used it.
No, I think because everyone uses like Boomerang and like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everyone uses Boomerang. Like I think if you use Instagram, people are using Boomerang. I think that's like the sole reason some people use it.
So that brings me into like another thing. You said people in you follow some people in your school, or it's kind of mixed a little bit. Is there people in your school that are subscribed to you and watch you like just cause, or no?
Yeah, a lot of people actually. Usually it's like the younger people in like younger like grades.
Yeah.
Some people in my school, like in my classes and like in my age group, do watch my videos, but they usually don't tell me, and then I just find out somehow.
How do you feel about it? Does it make you uncomfortable, or?
I mean, the people who do watch it are actually like really mature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
immature
really
or mature?
Mature. But everyone who just like sees it as like it's cool, like they just like really.
So nobody gives you any like. Any.
Yes, some people, but it's really just teasing. It's not really. You know,
because I had to go through similar things where I never told nobody about it, and I didn't want anyone to see it, and I was never using my real name. So it's cool that you're using your real name already from the start and you're building it up, because I think that's better than using not your real name, just some random name,
Yeah.
I think that's a good move. What about your family or your parents? Are they supportive of it, or do they know?
Like, they're okay with it as long as it doesn't interfere with like school and like that sort of stuff. If like the time management is good, then it's all right, to be honest. Like, cause like I'm making money off of it, I'm doing something I like. So
did you have to convince them over time, or was
no, cause like my parents kind of like think it's cool, so they're okay with it. So it wasn't really a problem at all. It's only a problem when I like stay up editing and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine.
So they want you to focus on. You're still in high school. They want, of course, any parent would. What about when it comes time to when you're getting ready to go to college in a couple years, and do you feel like you're gonna have a struggle between wanting to pursue maybe photography or some sort of creative entrepreneurial thing in college? You said you want to go to college anyway. Yeah. So you feel like there wouldn't be a struggle?
Like they're okay with me like going to film school, or like going like
trying some other route.
Yeah, like as long as I like it. It wasn't always like that. I don't know why they're like so supportive now, but it wasn't always like that. I think
they're probably younger parents too. They're probably a little bit more knowing of what's going on.
Yeah, my mom especially. She's kind of on like social.
Do they watch
more.
YouTube?
My mom does. So.
See, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, and like she's like cool with that. So I guess I do want to pursue like it in like further education, like college or university,
just to get the experience.
Like I just feel like I need to at least know how it feels like to kind of be in college and just have that experience, even if it's just a year and then I just drop out. I don't know, or like a month, but I just want to know how like kind of the vibe is. So
no, that's really good, as long as you know, because I graduated. Looking back on it, I can't say I wouldn't do it again, but there was a point in the middle where I just kind of knew that I wasn't going to that I didn't want to do that for my career, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was just ignoring it. But it's definitely a good. Everyone has their path that they have to find out. I would just my only advice to you is once you know something in your gut, don't waste time to start listening to it. Like if you know, like next year that you want to pursue portraits, or there's some opportunity, portrait photography, or if you start going on tour with some artist and doing their photography.
I want to get into that. I want to like do event photography and like go on tour with like some artists that I know, like that I like. That'd be like amazing. So yeah, I've been tweeting out like Post Malone, right? Yeah. Because he follows me now. He saw my photos.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So I've been tweeting him out, like DMing him, but he hasn't replied. But what that has caused, like by just posting his pictures, replying to the tweets, I've gotten a lot of more followers because everyone likes the photos. So they started retweeting it. Like every single tweet that I replied to has at least 500 likes on it.
Yeah.
So that's
and
like,
you're taking some pretty good photos.
yeah,
Like,
so
quality wise, though, like you obviously you can keep improving.
yeah, like I
but
guess
especially
like
for being 15.
yeah,
And I keep saying that, but it's not like a limiting thing, but I say it in a positive way because you're already at a certain point at 15 and you'll still be super young at 18 and have 3 more years of experience. And they say to be good at something, you need to put 10,000 hours in, and that takes like 5 to 10 years. So you'll be able to put the practice in by the time you're even
like
still young. Yeah.
Yeah, like I get that a lot. Like a lot of people that I do shoots for, or just people who see me on Instagram and DM me, like they always think I'm older for some reason. Like I don't look that old, but like they always think I'm in university. Like this past week, at least 3 people asked me that I did who I did shoots with. They're like, "What university do you go to?" So that's just like
it's because most people. I noticed this happening with myself too. When I see someone on Instagram, like I thought Carly Kloss was a lot older than how old she is, because you see them doing such big things that you think that they must have already had a long career ahead of them, or they're mature. You know what I'm saying? I see this this happens to me all the time, where I'm like, wait, that person's younger than me. You know?
Yeah. I guess if you're like mature, you kind of seem older, right? Yeah,
it is. It's definitely. I think the more successful you get, the older you look, especially if you're young.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just thinking about like how young I am. It's kind of crazy. Like I feel much older than I am. Like I don't want to finish like grade 11, 12. I just want to go straight to university. I just want to experience like the real life. Kind of like
do not rush it.
I know, but I kind of just like
enjoy it. Just enjoy your life. You know, there's no point to rush any. It's going to take me a long time to figure that out. You don't want to rush to start real life because you only get to do everything one time. You know. I get what you're saying though. You're impatient to start.
Because like I want to experience a lot of things, and like a lot of people, like I know more college and university students than I do high school students, right? So a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of my inner circle are older than me, so I just kind of want to know what they're going, like what they're experiencing, you know?
Yeah.
So
I get it. It's curiosity. So that's and like you said earlier, even if Post Malone doesn't do anything with you, never replies to you, and it's still actually really beneficial for you that if I go to your page right now and I'm following Post Malone, I'll see that Post Malone follows you in that little thing on the side on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'll think, wait, why does Post Malone follow him, you know? And I'll definitely be more willing to work with you. I didn't notice that. But
yeah, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, networking is crazy how one person, like you said, one person can know one person. Here's what I think is going to happen in the next couple of years, especially because I see my reach and my influence popping up in weird ways. I think it's inevitable that you're going to work with an artist or take pictures for someone who's also going to blow up. Like, is there any younger artist around your city?
There is, but he already has a photographer. So
yeah, but I feel like it's bound to where someone's going to reach out to you and they're on the come up.
Like if you can feel their energy and just like know that they're like, just see their hustle in them, like you kind of know like if somebody's going to be successful, right? Like I know like a lot of people I talked to earlier on ended up being successful. I already knew they were going to be successful. Like it kind of the vibe you get with them. Yeah. That like the hours on end that they spend doing their thing, you can kind of tell.
Yeah. And I kind of see that with you too. That's why I think you're in a really good position, because I see the things that you're doing that took me myself like a lot of reading and stuff to figure out. So so I kind of ran to a blank here. I'm gonna cut this part out.
Yeah, sure.
But
talk about books or whatever. You just said
here. I know what to talk about. Is there anything that we haven't talked about, or things that you're really passionate about that most people wouldn't know based on if they already follow you? Like a musical instrument or something?
No, like I don't have any hidden special talents. Maybe like I like sports. Like I like the community in the sports, field. I like basketball, sort of that sort of stuff. I like playing basketball, I also like music and just like the culture. It's like really interesting to me. just how it works, like producers, I always like behind the scenes people. Just I don't know, it just seems really interesting. And
Like photographers or producers.
yeah, and that sort of stuff, just like managers.
What goes into the making of it?
Yeah, that stuff really interests me, and I guess the behind the scenes, that's kind of what interests me. I think that's something I want to do when I'm older. Just like maybe like I'm not like a rapper or like an NBA superstar, so I think like something like that would suit me really well. Just doing something like that. And I've been watching like a lot of interviews and like books and all that sort of stuff just to gain some knowledge on that, and how some people did certain things, how they met certain people, and how it all fits together. Just trying to like gain as much knowledge as I can. So that's why I started reading books. Like I just started again this summer. I stopped reading like for a while now. I started watching interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. I think that's really important. And then just like seeing what successful people are doing, like how they're tweeting or how they're making their videos, how they're doing certain things, is something that I'm looking really into right now. Like, and since it was summer and like it's almost the end of summer right now, I had a lot of spare time to do that. So I'm either creating, I'm either like networking, I'm either like learning, just like searching up tutorials, like certain things, interviews. Like I've tried to use the 24 hours that I have just to gain as much knowledge and improve as much as possible. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm at right now. Kind of like the stage of just like learning. Yeah. And that's
really good that you read for that. That's really good that you read for improvement. And that's one of the number one keys that I could tell anyone is one of the things that helped me the most was just reading a lot, watching a lot of interviews of successful people, giving their advice, listening to podcasts, because that's the thing that opened up my mind to realize what was possible more than anything. You start to be able to believe higher or think bigger. Once you can think bigger.
Yeah, I saw you have I'm pretty sure it was a Instagram story with like your books or whatever you bought from Amazon.
Yeah.
You had like 30, 20,
a lot. There's way more. There's way more. There's way.
Yeah. So
I just ordered 10 books because I was on vacation. I went to California, and the Airbnb that we stayed at, the lady was really into books. She just had books everywhere, and I realized that this is how she got this nice house to rent out on Airbnb. This is how she's living in this nice place in California. The secret is to read,
Yeah.
What are some books that like, what are some books that you've read recently or that have
Black
helped
Privilege. Black Privilege, I just talked about that. I've read like the Gary Vee books.
Yeah.
I read Outliers.
I'm reading that right now.
Yeah,
I'm about to finish it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good book. There's a couple of other books. I also read like books similar to like Humans in New York with like people's stories and stuff in it.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff as well. Like I like to read that. I'm reading I think it's called Shoe Dog. Like it was about
I read that. That's a really, really, really good book.
Yeah, I just bought that. It's like expensive, so like $40, not that expensive.
$40?
It's $40 here.
No, I get used books on Amazon.
No, like I don't know. I think maybe I'm too lazy for that. I just like go into the store and just buy it. Like
no, never go into No hate to Barnes and Nobles. If I ever get a sponsorship, never go into the store and get them. Just go on Amazon and get them used.
Yeah, and then there's another book, Ask and It Is Given, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's about like manifesting your desires.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah. And
Shoe Dog's really good though. Shoe Dog was good to me because I worked as a shoe salesman. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah. People
who sell shoes in a shoe department, they call them shoe dogs. And when he wrote the book, I think the book starts when he was 23 or 24 and I was 23 and 24 when I read it. So that one really helped me out.
I never started it yet. I never started it, but
it's not even like a business book. It's just a story. It's more like an actual book.
Yeah. And like movies, I've been watching movies and like documentaries, like that stuff's super interesting. Even like TV shows like sometimes spark certain things in my mind, like video ideas, like The Defenders. I just watched it and like gonna make a tutorial on something that was in it. Like just finding motivation everywhere, like just making connection, those mental connections I was talking about with everything that you do in life. So like people, books, internet, like whatever you see on the internet, just like find some sort of motivation. And yeah, that's kind of how I go on with my day. Like, and just like music gets through my, like, it helps me get through my day. Like, I can't go a day without listening to music, to be honest. Like, kind of hypes me up and stuff. So
yeah, of course. I'm really similar in a lot of ways to everything you just said. I'm always looking for ideas and things like that around me through music, movies, videos, and I'm always looking to learn more, because I think with people like me or you or anyone who's listening, where maybe you're not born right in LA where everyone's trying to be an actor, or maybe you're born in some small suburb where maybe no one around you is doing the things that you're doing. Nowadays, since we have the internet, you can build your room to be like your virtual LA or whatever. Like every book that you read they say that your environment is your you're a product of your environment, but you can create the environment that will make you what you want to be if you read the right books, listen to the right music, all that around you, and create your ecosystem for that. And that seems like what you're doing, even just naturally, and you really have a hunger to learn.
Yeah.
But I guess we're getting near an hour here, so I think an hour is a good length for a podcast. Do you have any other projects that you're really focused on right now? Something in the works that you want people to know about?
Not really. Like, I'm just trying to grasp at every opportunity that I can. So like my end goal for this, like probably this year, like next year, like couple of years coming forward, is just to go on a tour with an artist. I think like me and you, like we make similar videos, but we have like different end goals, like different like things. Like you, like I'm doing more in real life stuff, and like you're uploading more on YouTube. You're more focused on that. Like I could do that, but I think the direction we're going is different. Like I'm not sure what your end goal, like what you want to do, but I'm trying to do something. Like I'm trying to do something in the music field or sports field where I can do what I am doing right now, but also somehow be involved.
Be a behind the scenes person, like you said earlier.
I can, like whether that's making music videos or going on tour with somebody or doing event photography or something like that. That's what I want to get into, so that I can kind of mix two interests I have together. Yeah. That's a good goal. Or it's good that you have those interests that you're working towards. And I know you're everywhere on every platform, but where's the best places that people should find you and that you want them to be? Be on my Twitter and Instagram. It's StephenVan_. I'm usually on there. I probably reply to like all my DMs on there. YouTube comments and like that sort of stuff, like on YouTube, youtube.com/StephenVan. It takes a bit longer for me to reply on there just because there's so many comments, but I upload similar tutorials and that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's mainly where I am. I'm on other platforms as well, but not as much. I upload podcasts as well, but not really that often, just because I'm really focusing on other stuff. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
And I'll leave a link to all that stuff in the descriptions below. But Stephen, thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully you guys got something good from this, a different perspective from a younger perspective that might not be limited or that has been influenced in the same ways that we might be if we're older or if you're older. Is there any final words that you want the people to know? Any random things that you want to say that we didn't get to say during this podcast?
I can't think of any, but yeah, I just want to thank everybody for listening, and thank you, Justin, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening on iTunes, feel free to give it a rating. If you're not listening on iTunes, if you're listening on YouTube, it is on iTunes for your listening convenience. And you can subscribe on YouTube. Find me everywhere at Justin Odisho, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And once again, thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
See ya.